Hello, guys. My name is Nicholas Earl, and welcome back to another edition of Baseball Talk with the Old Brothers. Joined here by my brother Tim. And today, the date of recording is April 24th. So you know what the best thing to do on April 24th is?
You know what?
Let's trade some players. Let's.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, all right, we got April baseball.
We are
trade deadline talk. Let's do it.
Yeah, we are 25 games to the season at this point. Let's talk some trade deadline.
Yeah, I think we've waited long enough.
Yeah, I think we've waited long enough. We have 5 categories we're going to talk about. Catchers, which we have one singular catcher, which that is that's cool. We have a singular catcher. We have infielders, outfielders, and pitchers. Wait, no, that one is pitchers, where we have starting pitchers and relief pitchers that we'll be going over. And these are from the teams that I believe will be sellers at the deadline, or at this point should be sellers at the deadline. Now, some teams can play well and get themselves off these lists. Some teams will be playing bad and put themselves on this list. So, we ready to talk catchers, Tim, for potential trade candidates, because there's a ton to go over for catchers.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, catchers. It's Ryan Jeffers.
That's the only name we have on the list.
Yeah, he's a free agent at the end of the season, making $6.7 million. Maybe if a team needs a catcher, sure.
And honestly, like right now, I look at it and go, depending on how Kirk does when he gets back, that could be a possible Toronto Blue Jay look.
I don't see them moving him.
Yeah, obviously not. Like it would be if Kirk doesn't come back. That would be an interesting look.
Or trading for him.
Trading for him.
Oh, because we have Blue Jays on this list, we get traded away.
Yeah, correct. We have some Blue Jays on here just like as players that names that we could see get traded.
You know where we could see Jeffers going? We're spending way too much time on Ryan Jeffers, by the way.
Go ahead.
Padres.
Yeah,
they're always looking for a catcher.
Yep, I see that.
All right, let's move on. Infielders. We have 6 infielders to talk about? Yeah, 6 infielders to talk about. The list is Josh Bell, Alec Bohm, Luis Ariz, C.J. Abrams, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Bo Bichette. Go. You're the first one you want to talk about.
Bo Bichette. I know when we were kind of thinking up this video, one of the first ones I thought it was an outfielder that we'll talk about in a minute that I'm going to hopefully get to talk about a lot. And then Bo Bichette. I know that he's got a 3-year deal. It's a player option after the first. So let's be honest. If the Mets are out of contention at that time, which as we're recording this, the Mets are 9-16, decent chance that we'll probably be completely out of it. The Mets could probably look to get to dump his contract because they know he's not going to opt in. And I feel like they can possibly get a decent haul for him as long as they eat up a part of that contract.
Which we've seen Cohen do before.
If we can get a big prospect out of it for chunk of $20 million or whatever it is, sounds good to me.
Yeah, the next one I'll touch on. C.J. Abrams is a free agent in 2029, and he is somebody that I can absolutely see the Washington Nationals moving because they got the new GM,
yep.
They got the new front office that drafted Willits last year, that's starting to develop a really good farm system. C.J. Abrams just ain't their guy.
No.
Like, he's not the guy they're going to hold on to long term. C.J. Abrams, I think, can get him back a decent haul. I think they need him to play a little bit into the season. That's why they didn't do it in the offseason. But C.J. Abrams was the first one I wanted.
He's off to a really nice start this year, too. So yes. His trade value is only going up at the moment. But we need to see him second half of the year.
Which, if he's on a good team in the second half of the year, could be a totally different player.
Correct.
I think if he plays with Washington in the second half, he's not going to be very good.
I agree.
Next infielder you wanted to touch on?
Luis Ariz could be interesting for some team. Who I'm not particularly sure. He's one of those guys that we were kind of questioning in the offseason of who's gonna want Luis Ariz, because batting average isn't everything. He's not fast. He doesn't play good defense.
It's a defensive liability. His WAR's not very high.
Yeah, I'm not super high on him, but some team's gonna want him. So I could definitely see somebody going after him.
Yeah. and he is a pending free agent. He only signed a 1-year deal with San Fran.
Exactly.
I'm going to throw Alec Boehm in there as well. I don't feel the need to talk about IKF or Josh Bell too much because those are just guys that are flipped at every deadline, it feels like.
Pretty much, yeah.
Alec Boehm, pending free agent at the end of this year. Don't know how much they're going to get back for him, but definitely someone, if the Phillies continue to play the way they are, they'll probably look to shop.
Which the Phillies currently, as we're recording this, dead last in the National League East with a 9-game losing streak.
Love that. Move on to outfielders?
Yes.
All right. We have 5 outfielders on this list.
Say the 4 that's not my name.
Yeah. Adolis Garcia, Jorge Soler, Dalton Varsho, and George Springer are 4 of the 5. And the 4 that I listed off are all pending free agents at the end of the year. I'll touch on the first one here.
Go ahead.
Adolis Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's playing pretty okay for Philly right now. And if Philly is not in the mix, I don't see them holding on to Adolis Garcia. And maybe you can get a AA arm and a DSL prospect for him, something along those lines. But other than that, I don't see them holding on to Adolis Garcia because I don't see them extending him.
Yeah, and by the way, considering that we have Mets on here, having the Phillies on here makes sense too.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
We're not being biased towards
They're
it.
the worst team in the National League right now. We can talk about the Phillies selling without being shit on. Thank you.
My big guy that I thought of immediately when I saw this idea for the video, Yordan Alvarez.
Yep.
He is a player that I think at the moment he's got 11 home runs. This is a Astros team that is currently last in the division. They are off to a really rough start. A lot of people, you haven't really been hearing about how bad they're doing because a certain team in New York has been doing even worse, and everybody loves to pile on them. So you don't know.
But they're still below them in the standing.
They are. So you don't really hear as much about the Astros and the Phillies struggles because of that. But if the Astros, Yordan Alvarez, I believe, has this year and next year. He'll be a free agent in 28. And you're going to get a haul for him. You're going to get a lot for him, especially for a team that needs a big bopper. And I could definitely see somebody going after him. As crazy as it sounds, why not Toronto? If Toronto is in buy mode, why not Yordan to Toronto? I think that could be interesting. Or even you look at it, who else would need a big power bat? Cleveland
They're not trading.
Could be an interesting, like if they have enough to trade for him.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. If
Pittsburgh
they have the farm system for it. But
Seth Hernandez would be in that trade.
Yeah, probably. Yordan Alvarez is just one of those guys that I immediately thought of when we were doing this video.
Yeah, it'd be probably Seth Hernandez or Florentino would be how
how that conversation has started.
Yeah. Jorge Soler will be the next one I bring up because I don't see the Blue Jays as sellers at the deadline per se. I just threw Varsho and Springer on because they're not in a playoff spot right now.
And they're currently pending free agents here.
Yeah. Jorge Soler, PFA, pending free agent, has looked really good for the Angels so far this year, and maybe they'll be able to dump him for a decent prospect now. But that would also require the Angels selling, which I don't know if they will.
That's the problem with the Angels is you don't know what they're going to do. So, and then we don't really need to dive deep into Varsho or Springer. We just put them in there because they're pending free agents, and there's definitely a market for them. Whether or not they actually get dealt, a different story.
Yep. So you ready for some starting pitching?
Let's do it.
All right, starting pitching. I've got 10 names on this list. I'll list them all off, and we'll go through the ones we want to. Sandy Alcantara has been someone whose name has been floated forever, it feels like. He signed through the 2027 season. Freddie Peralta and David Peterson of the New York Mets are both pending free agents at the end of this year. Robbie Ray is a pending free agent for the Giants. Dustin May is a pending free agent for the St. Louis Cardinals, who's pitched pretty well. A couple Washington Nationals, Zach Littell and Foster Griffin, 2 guys who signed 1-year deals who could be decent flip pieces for the Nationals for some lower-end talent, lower-end minor league talent. One that really piques my attention a little bit is Chris Bubik. Is a pending free agent at the end of the year. Joe Ryan has a mutual option at the end of this year, which never get picked up. Kevin Gausman's a pending free agent this year, and so is Patrick Corbin. Any of them you want to talk about? I know you want to lead with our GOAT, Patrick Corbin, right?
Yeah, Patrick Corbin. I don't even know why he's on the list. I don't think that.
I just wanted a Patrick Corbin mention. That's it.
And I don't think Peterson belongs on this list because he has not been good this year. Sandy Alcantara. Can I? As much as I think he should be traded, would you be surprised if the Marlins offered him an extension?
Yeah,
because if I was the Marlins, I would have traded. I would have traded him by now.
I kind of can see that.
That seems like a Peter.
I don't think that's not a Bendix move. That is not a Bendix move. No, I feel like dumping him for younger, controllable talent. Cheaper, controllable talent.
That's your
Keep
ace.
Keep in mind, Bendix came from the Rays. He doesn't give a fuck about, he's your ace. He's been here. That doesn't care.
I don't know. Sandy either is going to get traded for a haul or he's going to get an extension by the end of the year.
Yeah, another guy that I think you can put in that loop into that conversation is Freddie Peralta.
Yes.
I saw a mock trade that was kind of interesting the other day, which had Ethan Salas coming to the Mets for Freddie Peralta, and like Ethan Salas plus for Freddie Peralta, but like a package around him, which is interesting. A top 100 prospect, you traded two of them away, but like if you recoup one for half a year of Freddie Peralta, so be it. I could see Peralta being moved, or he's another guy. It's either he's going to sign or he's going to get traded. There's one. They're not.
And I don't see him getting a free agent. I don't see him getting an extension this year, just because there's a guy named Tariq Skubal. Which, shoot, I wanted to add him in the list too.
I don't see the Tigers being.
But I'll talk about him in a minute. But
here's the thing: is no, I'm gonna stop you there. And that's just because I think the Tigers run away with the division. And if they're running away with the division and they trade Tariq Skubal, you deserve to get fired. And yes, I know they're 14-12, tied with Cleveland Guardians right now. But if they're anywhere remotely close to a playoff spot, you do not even think about trading Tariq Skubal.
I think there's definitely an argument for it. And we're going to mention Tariq. I'm mentioning Tariq Skubal. I don't care. Yes, they're currently tied 14-12. With Cleveland, and then you're not really seeing much from the other teams. You were right about Kansas City; they're 8-17. White Sox 10-15 and 12-13 for the Twins.
I wanted to put the Twins higher on our power rankings, and I just didn't know
how. The thing is, if Detroit falls back at all,
they could.
They're going to.
I don't see it.
It's not that they should; they're going to. If they're 3-4 games back of the division by trade deadline, and they're barely in a wild card spot or something, no, they should cut bait with him. If they don't think, here's the deal: if you're the Tigers and you don't think you can win the World Series, you trade him.
I think the Tigers could win the World Series. Though. I think
if they think they can, fine. But I look at it as if they look at the trade deadline, or if they have a little bit of a losing streak, or don't look great going into the trade deadline, Tariq Skubal is going to get you a haul, and that's what you need to rebuild. And because you're losing him, you're not signing him.
Sure. So. Any others you want to mention? Robbie Ray, Dustin May, Zach Littell, Foster Griffin, Chris Bubik, Joe Ryan, Kevin Gausman. I want to talk probably Gausman and Ryan.
I was going to say I'm going to bring up Joe Ryan. I think he should be traded. Once again, if the Twins are as bad as they are, which they should be, they should not be in the divisional race in a couple of months. I think Joe Ryan should be dealt, and you're going to get a decent haul for him because even though it is a rental, I still think the Twins will get a decent prospect or two for him.
Yeah, he has a $13 million mutual option for 2027.
If he's getting paid $13 million this year, then like that.
He's getting 6.1 this year.
He's getting 6.1? Yeah, you're going to get a good prospect for him then.
Yes, you're going to get a nice return there. Kevin Gausman's another guy that I think is rather
He's been good.
He's been good this year, and he's somebody who can give you innings, and he's somebody that if the Blue Jays fall out, is somebody I would absolutely be circling for trying to trade for. He has experience. He's making $23 million this year, but you're only going to pay half of that, whatever, for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. And he is somebody who has just been consistent over the years. He's thrown to a 2.54 ERA so far this year in 28 and 30 innings pitched. Kevin Gausman is trying trying to look at there's Sandy and there's Freddie. Gausman feels like the number 3. I would probably be more interested if for a playoff run. If you're a team looking to make a playoff run, I'm more interested in Gausman than I am Ryan.
Yeah, because Gausman has the playoff experience.
If you're looking at 2026, just 2026, I'm more interested in Gausman than Ryan.
I agree.
Any others you want to mention before we hit the relievers, which won't probably take too long?
Robbie Ray is a fun name.
Robbie Ray, he's a pending
former Cy Young Award winner. He's been okay this year. I think he could get the Giants a decent prospect.
It won't be anything crazy.
It won't be anything crazy because he's a pending free agent. But teams are always going to be looking for lefty arms.
Yeah, and he's somebody who can give you innings. He's got experience. He's making $23 million this year. He's thrown to a 2.86 ERA so far in 28 1/3, so he's been pretty good. There. On to relievers.
Sure.
Not one thing I noticed is there's not that wow reliever this year, like a Yohan Duran that was moved last year, or a Ryan Helsley that was moved last year, or someone along those lines. There's not that wow reliever this year. Here's the list I came up with, and they're all pending free agents other than Brad Keller, who is signed next year as well. Brad Keller is signed until next year. Pete Fairbanks of the Marlins, Brooks Raley of the Mets, Ryan Stanek of the Cardinals, Sean Newcomb of the White Sox, Brian Abreu and Stephen Okirk of the Houston Astros, Matt Strahm of the Kansas City Royals, Kirby Yates of the LA Angels, Drew Pomerantz also of the LA Angels. Any of those stand out to you at all?
Can I mention one more name?
Go for it.
He is signed until 2027. Jeff Hoffman.
I don't know what type of return you're going to get for Jeff Hoffman. You'll be selling low on him.
You're also going to be getting an extra year of Hoffman because he's signed until 27.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
I'm just trying to pick out relievers because none of these names intrigue me at all.
Brooks Raley's been
good for the Mets this year.
Gave up his first home run since 2023 the other day.
Brian Abreu's been awful.
He's been awful, but he's somebody that I would acquire for the setup role because for whatever reason he can't get outs in the 9th inning, and that's what the Astros are asking him to do without Josh Hader.
And honestly, I don't really see. I'm looking through all the teams, and I'm kind of like I don't know if there's any teams that are going to trade away certain players. Like I don't like none of these bullpen arms intrigue me. Is that fair?
Maybe Pete Fairbanks.
He signed a 2-year deal though, right?
No, 1-year deal.
Oh, you did one. That's a classic. Get a veteran.
Maybe if you want Nick Martinez in the bullpen from Tampa, but he's starting, so no. Matt Strahm, I feel like, has some decent upside. Not sure. Sean Newcomb's a fun arm for the White Sox. I think out of this list, maybe Sean Newcomb next to the best prospect.
Yeah, probably.
Other than Brad Keller because he has an extra year on him.
But and Pete Fairbanks.
Pete Fairbanks. Honestly, if I was trading for a reliever, I'd probably give up more for Newcomb than Fairbanks.
Because he's cheaper.
He's cheaper, and I think he could be better at this point.
Fair enough.
So, not too much for relievers. This is a really weak trade deadline class unless big names get made available that are signed for many more years.
Hey, if Detroit falls off, that's all of a sudden you can look at Kalen Jensen, and you could look at Finnegan, and you can look at Skubal, and there's definitely
it can get more interesting if certain teams fall out. But
all of a sudden, maybe if Baltimore falls out, then you've got Ryan Helsley all of a sudden in the picture. Like there's even Trevor Rogers could be in the picture if Baltimore falls out.
He's a sneaky free agent at the end of this year.
He's a sneaky one. We always mention Mike Trout, but he's never going to get moved.
Mike Trout's never getting moved. Let's move on.
I'm kind of just looking through all the things. That's kind of all the big names I could think of.
Yeah. But in the comment section below, let us know what are some names that we did not list that you think could get moved during the trade deadline. Obviously, we'll be doing plenty more trade deadline stuff, in like 2 months when it actually matters. But we thought it'd be a fun exercise to kind of look ahead to see who can potentially get moved at the deadline. But that's going to do it for this one. Well, thank you guys as always for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, turn on notifications so you guys are notified every time we come out with the video here. That's going to do it. Thank you guys as always for watching. We'll catch you next time.